Hello, my dear students. Welcome to my science class. Students, today I am going to discuss a very interesting chapter of biology from your class 7 science book, and that is respiration in organisms. So, let us quickly start the chapter. One day, Bujo was eagerly waiting to meet his grandparents who were coming to the town after a year. He was in a real hurry as he wanted to receive them at the bus stop. He ran fast and reached the bus stop in a few minutes. He was breathing rapidly. His grandmother asked him why he was breathing so fast. Bujo told her that he came running all the way. But the question got stuck in his mind. He wondered why running makes a person breathe faster. The answer to Bujo's question lies in understanding why we breathe. Breathing is a part of respiration. Let us learn about respiration. So, students, in this chapter, we will study why we breathe and what is respiration. स्टूडेंट्स जैसा कि हम जानते हैं वी ब्रीथ हम सांस लेते हैं हम क्यों सांस लेते हैं क्या रीज़न है कि हमें सांस लेने की ज़रूरत है या जो ब्रीथिंग है वो हमारे लाइफ के लिए कैसे इम्पोर्टेंट है वो हम इस चैप्टर रेस्पिरेशन इन ऑर्गेनिजम्स में पढ़ेंगे सो व्हाई डू वी रेस्पायर In chapter 2, you learn that all organisms are made of small microscopic units called cells. A cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. Each cell of an organism performs certain functions and like nutrition, transport, excretion and reproduction. To perform all these functions, the cell needs energy. Even when we are sleeping, eating or reading, we require energy. So students, as you all know, the smallest unit of life is a cell. It is the structural and functional unit of life. Cell जो है वो हमारे पूरे वर्ल्ड में it is the smallest unit लिविंग सिस्टम का सबसे जो छोटा यूनिट जो कि अपने आप लाइफ को सपोर्ट कर सकता है इज द सेल जो that is why it is called as the structural unit of life. Now functional unit of life का क्या मतलब है जितने लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म में फंक्शंस होते हैं वो एक अकेला सेल वो सबसे जो छोटा यूनिट वो जो सारे फंक्शंस जो लाइफ में जितनी मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटीज़ हो रही होती है लाइफ सेविंग फंक्शंस जो होते हैं वो सारे फंक्शंस एक सेल में भी हो सकते हैं उससे छोटी यूनिट में वो फंक्शंस पॉसिबल नहीं है इसीलिए सेल को फंक्शनल यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ कहते हैं क्योंकि वो सारे फंक्शंस कर सकता है जो एक लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म परफॉर्म करता है नाउ जैसे हमने पढ़ा था एक लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म में बहुत सारे फंक्शंस चल रहे होते हैं लाइक न्यूट्रिशन होता है ट्रांसपोर्ट एक्सक्रीशन एंड रिप्रोडक्शन ऑल दीज आर कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स ये सारे क्या हैं फीचर्स ऑफ लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं और ये जो जितने ऑर्गेनिजम्स ये फंक्शंस परफॉर्म कर रहे होते हैं इसको परफॉर्म करने के लिए एक ऑर्गेनिज्म को क्या चाहिए होता है एनर्जी एंड दिस एनर्जी इज प्रोवाइडेड बाय द फंक्शन विच इज कॉल्ड एज द रेस्पिरेशन इनफैक्ट जब आप सो रहे होते हो या आपको लगता है कि मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ तभी भी आपकी बॉडी को एक अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी चाहिए होती है और ये एनर्जी देता है हमारा बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रोसेस विच इज़ कॉल्ड एज द रेस्पिरेशन बट वेयर डज दिस एनर्जी कम फ्रॉम कैन यू से why your parents insist that you should eat regularly. The food has stored energy which is released during respiration. We have studied the chapter nutrition in animals and we know that food provides nutrition and it gives us energy to perform work. तो इस चैप्टर में हम पढ़ेंगे ये जो फूड से जो एनर्जी हमें कैसे मिलती है Therefore, all living organisms respire to get energy from food. During breathing, we breathe in air. You know that air contains oxygen. We breathe out air which is rich in carbon dioxide. The air we breathe in is transported to all parts of the body, ultimately to each cell. In the cell, oxygen is in the air helps in the breakdown of food. The process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy is called cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place in the cells of all organisms. So first of all, we will highlight this. Now, what happens? जो respiration है, you all know that we breathe air. We breathe in air which is rich in oxygen, and we breathe out air which is rich in carbon dioxide. We have studied this. Now, जब हम breathe in करते हैं, हमारी body में हमारा जो रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम होता है थ्रू आवर नॉस्ट्रिल्स जो एयर आता है उसमें ऑक्सीजन का कंसंट्रेशन इज मोर. नाउ जब आप ब्रीथ आउट करते हो, यू ब्रीथ आउट ऑल द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड विच इज़ प्रोड्यूस्ड इन योर बॉडी. नाउ जैसे ही आप ब्रीथ इन करते हो, जो ऑक्सीजन है वो आपके नॉस्ट्रिल से होते हुए आपके लंग्स में आता है, एंड लंग्स के बाद वो आपकी पूरी बॉडी के हर सेल में पहुंच जाता है. एंड ये जो ऑक्सीजन होता है यही काम करता है आपके फूड के ब्रेक डाउन का. जो फूड आपने खाया था उसको ब्रेक डाउन करके एनर्जी को रिलीज़ करने का काम ये ऑक्सीजन करता है. सो ये जो प्रोसेस है जो कि सेल्स के अंदर होता है, आपने ब्रीथ किया या आपके ह्यूमन बॉडी में या किसी दूसरे ऑर्गेनिज्म की बॉडी में हुआ, बट जब ब्रीथ करते हो ऑक्सीजन हर सेल में जाता है एंड वहाँ पे आपका फूड का ब्रेक डाउन होता है सेल के अंदर और एनर्जी रिलीज़ होती है, एनर्जी निकलती है जिसको कि आप यूज़ करते हो अपने जितने भी फंक्शंस हैं, लाइफ सपोर्टिंग फंक्शंस हैं, उनको परफॉर्म करने के लिए. So this breakdown of food with the help of oxygen in the cell to release energy is called cellular respiration. और ये cellular respiration कहाँ होता है? हर ऑर्गेनिज्म के बॉडी में जो सेल्स होते हैं हर सेल में ये cellular respiration होता है. In the cell, the food which is glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide and water using oxygen. So हमें पता है कि जब हम खाना खाते हैं न्यूट्रिशन मिलता है हमारी बॉडी को, और द फूड इज़ ब्रोकन डाउन. जो फूड में से कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स, फैट्स, प्रोटीन्स, विटामिन एंड मिनरल्स, ये सारे के सारे हमारी बॉडी में एसिमिलेट हो जाते हैं. हमने डिफरेंट स्टेप्स ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन पढ़े थे, तो ये हमारी बॉडी में एसिमिलेट हो जाते हैं. सेल में क्या होता है? ग्लूकोज. एंड ये जो ग्लूकोज है जो कि खाने से हमें मिला था इज़ ब्रोकन डाउन इनटू कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, वाटर एंड एनर्जी. तो और ये ब्रेक डाउन कैसे होता है? विद द यूज़ ऑफ ऑक्सीजन. तो क्या हुआ? ग्लूकोज रिएक्ट किया ऑक्सीजन से एंड उसने क्या बनाया? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, वाटर और साथ में एनर्जी निकला. So when breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen, it is called aerobic respiration. Food can also be broken down without using oxygen. This is called anaerobic respiration. So students, this cellular respiration which we have studied, which is breaking down of food to release energy, is of two types. The respiration can occur in presence of oxygen also or in absence of oxygen also. So when this breakdown of glucose occurs in presence of oxygen, it is called as aerobic respiration. And when this breakdown occurs in absence of oxygen, it is called as anaerobic respiration. So what is aerobic respiration? It is the breakdown of glucose or food in presence of oxygen and energy is released. Then it is called as aerobic respiration. And breakdown of food in absence of oxygen is anaerobic respiration. So let us see the chemical equation for these two. Breakdown of food and release of energy. This is glucose. It is broken down in presence of oxygen. So in the chapter physical and chemical changes, I have told you how to write an equation. On the left side of the arrow is the reactant, and on the right side of the arrow is the product, and the conditions are written on the arrow. So glucose in presence of oxygen, carbon dioxide, water and energy are released. And you should know that there are some organisms like yeast that can survive in absence of air. So till now, I am sure you all know that there are few organisms that do not require oxygen for their life, and they are called as anaerobes. So organisms are of two types on the basis of whether they require oxygen or not. First are aerobes and second is anaerobes. So anaerobes, they do not require oxygen for the breakdown of food and they can survive without oxygen. So such an example is yeast. Yeast is an organism which does not require air to live, and um, in this organism also respires. Respiration occurs in this organism also, but how? Without oxygen. And this type is called as anaerobic respiration. And in this process, how this process occurs, they get energy through anaerobic respiration. In the absence of oxygen, glucose breaks down into alcohol and carbon dioxide. So in this, the reactant is glucose, but the products which are produced, they are alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. So these are the products of anaerobic respiration in case of yeast. So first we have studied aerobic respiration, in which glucose is broken down in presence of oxygen to release carbon dioxide, water and energy. The second was anaerobic respiration. In case of yeast, which is a single celled organism, yeast क्या है? एक single cell का organism है. फंजाई फैमिली को बिलोंग करता है ये, जो हमने फंगस पढ़ा था, वो ये ईस्ट फंगस को बिलोंग करता है. एंड इसमें जो रेस्पिरेशन है इज एनारोबिक रेस्पिरेशन एंड इट प्रोड्यूसेस अल्कोहल, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड एनर्जी. And because of this quality, this yeast is used in the alcohol industry for the production of alcohol. Fermentation के लिए use करके हम alcohol produce करते हैं. Now there is one more type of anaerobic respiration which occurs in your muscle cells. Our muscle cells can also respire anaerobically, but only for short time. When there is a temporary deficiency of oxygen during heavy exercise, fast running, cycling, walking for many hours, or heavyweight lifting, the demand for energy is high, but the supply of oxygen to produce the energy is limited. Then anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscle cells to fulfill the demand of energy. So हमारे muscles में भी बहुत कम टाइम के लिए temporarily anaerobic respiration होता है. How it occurs? Whenever you do strenuous exercise, जब आप बहुत heavy exercise करते हो, like cycling or walking very fast for many hours, weight lifting, और जब ये बहुत ज़्यादा लंबे टाइम तक हो जाता है, तो क्या होता है, आपके मसल्स में जितना भी ऑक्सीजन है, इट इज़ ऑल कंज्यूम्ड. जब आप कंटिन्यूसली एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हो, आफ्टर सम टाइम क्या होगा, आपके जितने भी मसल के जो सेल्स हैं, उनमें जितना भी ऑक्सीजन होगा वो रेस्पिरेशन के होकर के फिनिश हो जाएगा. एंड सेल ब्रीथ तो कर रहा है, हमारी बॉडी ब्रीथ तो कर रही है, लेकिन उतना सारा ऑक्सीजन पहुंच नहीं पाता है. उस केस में क्या होता है, सेल स्टार्ट रेस्पायरिंग एनारोबिकली. एंड इस प्रोसेस में ग्लूकोज इज ब्रोकन डाउन इन एब्सेंस ऑफ ऑक्सीजन एंड इट प्रोड्यूसेस लैक्टिक एसिड एंड एनर्जी. तो हमारे मसल सेल में क्या बन जाता है, लैक्टिक एसिड. एंड आपने you have observed or that after heavy exercise you get muscle cramps. आपको मसल में बहुत एक पेन स्टार्ट हो जाता है. It is because of the anaerobic respiration and accumulation of lactic acid. आपके सेल्स में, आपके जो मसल सेल्स हैं, वहाँ पे लैक्टिक एसिड एक्यूमुलेट हो जाता है, जिसकी वजह से आपको मसल क्रैम्प्स आते हैं, मसल्स में पेन होता है. बट जैसे ही आप थोड़ा रेस्ट करते हो या उस पर एक हॉट वाटर बाथ या मसाज करते हो, तो धीरे धीरे करके वो जो लैक्टिक एसिड होता है उसमें वो ऑक्सीजन आपके सेल्स को मिलता है एंड दोबारा से वो lactic acid is broken down and you get relieved. So this was about the different type of aerobic, different type of respirations, the aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Then we have studied till here. Now let us start with breathing. Close your nostrils and mouth tightly and look at a watch. What did you feel after some time? How long were you able to keep both of them closed? Note down the time for which you could hold your breath. So you just have to check, of course, in under your supervision, under the supervision of either your teacher or your parents, how much, for how long you can hold your breath. So what will you observe that after some time you cannot hold your breath because you cannot survive without breathing. Now what is breathing? It is the intake of air rich in oxygen and release of air rich in carbon dioxide. So this process of breathing can be divided into two parts. First is inhalation and second is exhalation. So what is inhalation? The taking in of air rich in oxygen into the body is called as inhalation. And what is exhalation? Giving out of air rich in carbon dioxide is called as exhalation. And this process is a continuous process. So जो breathing है इसको हम दो parts में divide कर सकते हैं. First is inhalation. जब आप breathe in करते हो, जब आप सांस लेते हो और उसके साथ जो एयर जाती है वो ऑक्सीजन रिच होती है, क्योंकि हमारी बॉडी को रेस्पिरेशन के लिए या ग्लूकोज के ब्रेक डाउन के लिए ऑक्सीजन चाहिए होता है. एंड व्हाट इज एक्सलेशन? जब ग्लूकोज का ब्रेकडाउन कंप्लीट हो जाता है देन कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज प्रोड्यूस्ड विच इज़ अ वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट फॉर आवर बॉडी. हमारी बॉडी में कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एक वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट है, उसको रिलीज़ करना बॉडी को, वो वेस्ट गैस को रिलीज़ करना बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है, अदरवाइज हमारी बॉडी को हार्म हो सकता है. सो द सेकेंड स्टेप ऑफ ब्रीदिंग इज एक्सलेशन. It is a continuous process which goes on all the time throughout the life of an organism. The number of times a person breathes in a minute is termed as breathing rate. So, and what is breathing rate? एक मिनट में आप जितनी बार breathe करते हो, पूरा cycle, one inhalation and one exhalation is one breathing cycle. And breathing rate is how many cycles you complete in a minute is breathing rate. आप एक बार में कितनी बार एक मिनट में कितनी बार आप इनहेल और एक्सहेल का पूरा एक साइकिल कंप्लीट करते हो इज द ब्रीदिंग रेट. अ ब्रेथ मीन्स वन इनहेलेशन प्लस वन एक्सहेलेशन एंड आप एक मिनट में कितनी बार ब्रेथ लेते हो इज द ब्रीदिंग रेट. Do you want to know whether it is constant or it changes according to the requirement of oxygen by the body? Let us find out by doing the following. So this breathing rate, whether it is constant or it changes according to your requirement, let us check that. There's an activity 10.2. Generally we are not aware that we are breathing. However, if you try, you can count your rate of breathing. Breathe in and out normally. Find out how many times you breathe in and breathe out in a minute. Did you inhale the same number of times as you exhaled? Now count your breathing rate after brisk walk and after running. Record your breathing rate as soon as you finish and also after complete rest. Tabulate your findings and compare your breathing rates under different conditions with those of your classmates. From the above activity, you must have realized that whenever a person needs extra energy, she breathes faster. So what is the activity? The activity is you have to note down your breathing rate. Firstly, when you are sitting normally, जब आप बिल्कुल normally बैठे हो, like when you are studying, आप उस time का breathing rate note down करो. Secondly, after heavy exercise or after running, breathing rate note down करो. And you can also record the breathing rate when you are resting, you are doing nothing, then also note down the breathing rate. What will you observe? So you will realize that you need extra energy at times, like after uh, running, you require extra energy because your body has done work. आपकी बॉडी ने अगर ज़्यादा वर्क परफॉर्म किया है तो उसको ज़्यादा एनर्जी चाहिए, एंड उस टाइम पे आप देखेंगे कि आपका ब्रीदिंग रेट इंक्रीज हो चुका होता है बिकॉज यू रिक्वायर मोर ऑक्सीजन टू ब्रेक डाउन मोर ग्लूकोज एंड रिलीज एनर्जी, क्योंकि आपकी बॉडी की एनर्जी रिक्वायरमेंट बढ़ जाती है आफ्टर हैवी एक्सरसाइज, और व्हेन यू आर डूइंग अ हैवी एक्सरसाइज और रनिंग आपकी बॉडी का एनर्जी कंजम्पशन बढ़ जाता है एंड यू रिक्वायर मोर एनर्जी, दैट इज़ वाई यू ब्रीथ फास्टर. On an average, an adult human being at rest breathes in and out 15 to 18 times in a minute. During heavy exercise, the breathing rate can increase up to 25 minutes per minute, 25 times per minute. While we exercise, not only do we breathe faster, we also take deep breaths and thus inhale more oxygen. So, generally, जो आपका breathing rate होता है in between 15 to 18 times in a minute, but जब आप heavy exercise करते हो it can increase up to 25 times in a minute, and you tend to breathe deeper. जब आप normally बैठे हुए हो, when you are not doing anything, you will realize that आपका जो breathing है is at a normal pace, but जब आप heavy exercise करते हो आप बहुत ही deep breaths लेते हो. Why? Because जब आप deep breath लोगे तो आपके lungs में ज़्यादा एयर आएगा. ज़्यादा एयर कैपेसिटी आने का मतलब है ज़्यादा ऑक्सीजन आया, बिकॉज आपकी बॉडी को उस टाइम पे ज़्यादा ऑक्सीजन का रिक्वायरमेंट होता है. So as a result, more oxygen is supplied to our cells. It speeds up the breakdown of food and more energy is released. Does this explain why we feel hungry after physical activity? And that is why जब आप बहुत heavy exercise करते हो तो because food का breakdown fast हो चुका होता है, that is why आपको ज़्यादा भूख लगती है. When you feel drowsy, does your breathing rate slow down? Does your body receives sufficient oxygen? When you are sleepy, आपका what happens? आपका बॉडी का मूवमेंट कम हो गया, आपकी बॉडी को एनर्जी कम चाहिए, तो क्या होता है धीरे धीरे करके आपका ब्रीदिंग रेट कंपैरेटिवली स्लो डाउन हो जाता है. Now there's an activity 10.3, figure 10.3 shows the various activities carried out by a person during a normal day. Can you say in which activity the rate of breathing will be the slowest and in which it will be the fastest? Assign numbers to the pictures in order of increasing rate of breathing according to your experience. Now there are a number of activities given in this figure and you have to tell in which of the activities more energy is required. So a child is sleeping, walking, climbing a stair, climbing a ladder, playing, studying and washing clothes. These are the activities and you have to tell which of the activities require less energy. So sleeping, when you are sleeping you require less energy. Then while studying you require energy, but your physical activities are less as compared to the other activities. So it will also, after sleeping, I think studying will be the next one. Then walking requires comparatively more energy while you are sitting. Then playing and climbing a staircase and washing clothes, all these depend on the intensity. आप कितना तेज़ी से ये काम कर रहे हो उस पर डिपेंड करता है कि आपको ये एनर्जी की रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है. तो स्लीपिंग रिक्वायर्स स्लोएस्ट एनर्जी, देन सिटिंग, देन इफ़ यू आर वॉकिंग स्लोली, अगर आप स्लोली वॉक कर रहे हो तो कम एनर्जी चाहिए होगा, एंड अगर आप ब्रिस्क वॉकिंग कर. Let us now learn about the mechanism of breathing. Normally, we take in air through our nostrils. When we inhale air, it passes through our nostrils into the nasal cavity. From the nasal cavity, air reaches our lungs through the windpipe. Lungs are present in the chest cavity, and this cavity is surrounded by ribs on the sides. A large muscular sheath called diaphragm forms the floor of chest cavity. Breathing involves the movement of diaphragms and rib cage. During inhalation, ribs move up and outward and diaphragm moves down. This movement increases space in our chest cavity and air rushes into the lungs. Lungs get filled with air during exhalation. Ribs move down and inward, while diaphragm moves up to its former position. This reduces the size of chest cavity and air is pushed out of the lungs. These movements in our body can be felt easily. Now let us observe the human respiratory system first. So first of all, these are the nostrils. Then comes the nasal passage or nasal cavity. This is your oral cavity, this is your mouth, and this is the oral cavity. Then they both meet here at the pharynx. Then there is trachea, which is a cartilaginous structure. Below the trachea divides into two bronchi. It bifurcates into two bronchi, and the bronchi further divide into bronchioles. These are the bronchioles, and at the end of the bronchioles there are the alveoli. This is the lung, which is protected by the ribs. These are our lungs. There are two lungs in our body which are present in the chest cavity. Chest cavity is also called as thoracic cavity, and these lungs are protected by the ribs. This is the diaphragm, which is a muscular membranous structure, and it also helps in breathing. So how do we breathe? When we inhale, that is when we take air inside the oxygen rich air, then what happens? These ribs move outward and this diaphragm moves down, and in this way the chest cavity, the size of chest cavity increases, lungs expand because they have to accommodate air. And when we breathe out, that is when we exhale, the lungs are contracted so that air moves out, and for this contraction the ribs moves inward and the diaphragm moves upward. So this is the diagram how the mechanism of breathing occurs. First of all, air moves inside, air is drawn in, and for accommodating this air, the lungs needs to expand, and for expansion it needs more area of chest cavity. For that, these ribs moves outward and diaphragm moves down. And when we exhale or when air is forced out, for that the ribs move inward or back and diaphragm also move upward or backward. So in this way they contract and the air is forced out from the lungs. तो जब हम इनहेल करते हैं तो क्या होता है, एयर अंदर आती है एंड एयर को ज़्यादा एयर के लिए हमारे लंग्स को जब साइज़ में उनका एरिया ज़्यादा होगा तभी वो एक्स्ट्रा एयर एब्जॉर्ब कर सकते हैं. इसके लिए क्या होता है, फर्स्टली जो रिब केज है, ये हमारा जो रिब केज है ये बाहर की तरफ मूव करता है, इट मूव्स आउटवर्ड बाहर की तरफ, एंड डायफ्राम नीचे की तरफ मूव करता है. तो इस तरह से हमारा जो ये चेस्ट कैविटी है उसका एरिया बढ़ जाता है और हमारे लंग्स को एक्सपैंड करने के लिए जगह मिल जाती है. एंड जब एयर को बाहर की तरफ फोर्स आउट करना है यानी एक्सेल करना है तो क्या होता है, ये रिब्स अंदर की तरफ मूव करती हैं और ये डायफ्राम जो है, जो कि एक मस्कुलर ऑर्गन है, ये ऊपर की तरफ मूव करता है और इस तरह से चेस्ट कैविटी का एरिया कम हो जाता है और वो लंग्स को ज़ोर से प्रेस करते हैं और इस तरह से एयर जो है बाहर की तरफ मूव करती है एंड इसको हम एक्सेलेशन कहते हैं. तो फिर से हम ये रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम ऑब्जर्व करते हैं. ये हमारे नॉस्ट्रल्स हैं जहाँ से हम ब्रीथ करते हैं, एंड दिस इज़ द नेज़ल पैसेज और नेज़ल कैविटी, एंड ये नीचे हमारी ओरल कैविटी है, माउथ के बाद ये ओरल कैविटी का हिस्सा है. देन ये दोनों जहाँ मीट करते हैं, दिस इज़ दी थ्रोट और फैरिंग्स के बाद ये हमारा ट्रैकिया आता है, ट्रैकिया जो है कार्टिलेजिनस रिंग्स का बना हुआ होता है। वाई दिस कार्टिलेजिनस रिंग्स? ये कार्टिलेजिनस रिंग्स का फंक्शन क्या है? ये हमारे जो विंड पाइप है इसको कोलैप्स नहीं होने देता। अगर ट्रैकिया ना हो, ये कार्टिलेजिनस की रिंग ना हो, कार्टिलेज क्या होता है? जो हमारे नोज़ में एंड ईयर का में देयर इज़ नो बोन, यहाँ बोन नहीं होती है, हार्ड सब्सटेंस होता है विच इज़ अ कार्टिलेज, एंड इसी कार्टिलेज का ये ट्रैकिया भी बना होता है। अगर ये ट्रैकिया ना हो तो हमारा विंड पाइप कोलैप्स हो जाएगा। ये जो ट्रैकिया है जब ये नीचे की तरफ मूव करता है, ये हमारी चेस्ट कैविटी में जब आता है तो ये दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो जाता है। इनको हम क्या कहते हैं? ब्रोंकाई। ये जो दो ब्रोंकाई है दोनों एक एक लंग्स में जाते हैं, एंड ये हमारे लंग्स है। इसको अगर हम कट करके, ये दो लंग्स है, लंग्स ऐसा एक बलून लाइक स्ट्रक्चर होता है जो कि रिब से प्रोटेक्टेड होता है। इसको अगर हम ऐसे कट करके देखें तो उसके अंदर हमें ये ब्रांचिंग दिखेगी इन ब्रोंकाई की। इनको हम कहते हैं ब्रोंक्यूल्स। ये जो ब्रोंक्यूल्स हैं इसके यहाँ एंड में छोटे छोटे से नॉब लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं, इनको हम कहते हैं एल्वियोलाई। और जो ऑक्सीजन और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का चेंज होता है, एक्सचेंज होता है, इट अकर्स इन द एल्वियोलाई, क्योंकि इन एल्वियोलाई के ऊपर बहुत सारे ब्लड वेसल्स होते हैं, जो कि ये जो ब्लड वेसल्स होते हैं यही क्या करते हैं? हमारे गैसियस एक्सचेंज में हेल्प करते हैं। एंड ये नीचे की साइड में ये डायफ्राम होता है, जिसका कि अभी मूवमेंट बताया कि जब ये नीचे की तरफ मूव करता है और रिब्स बाहर की तरफ मूव करती हैं तो इन्हेलेशन का प्रोसेस होता है। जब ये डायफ्राम ऊपर की तरफ मूव करता है अपवर्ड्स एंड रिब्स अंदर की तरफ मूव करते हैं, देन क्या होता है? एक्सहेलेशन का प्रोसेस होता है एंड द गैसेस मूव आउट। Now let us observe this through an animated series. So this is the human respiratory system. This is your nose, and this is the nasal cavity, and this is your oral cavity, and this is your tongue. This is pharynx or throat. Here the nasal cavity and oral cavity, they combine. Then comes the next part, larynx or the voice box, and this is the esophagus or the food pipe. They are two separate, you can see the separation there. There's two separate pipes, and this is the trachea. This is trachea, which is cartilaginous in structure, which divides into two bronchi, and then it is further divided into bronchioles. These bronchioles have, at the end, they have a knob like structure which is called as alveoli, and the lower surface is the diaphragm. Now the air moves inside through the nostrils and it comes here. Here there is an epiglottis. This structure is called as epiglottis. It is open, so the air moves through the trachea. When we eat food, whenever we eat food, this epiglottis closes and it does not allow the food to enter in the windpipe or the trachea, and it goes into the esophagus or the food pipe. So this epiglottis structure is very, very important. Now, after the gases then move to the through the bronchi, move to bronchioles, and it goes, the air goes to the alveoli. These alveoli have a large network of blood vessels or capillaries. This is your alveoli, this is the blood vessel, and here the exchange of gases occurs. The carbon dioxide move inside the alveoli because it is waste product, and oxygen moves to the blood capillaries, and then this carbon dioxide is removed during the process of exhalation. So this is the mechanism of breathing. Now during the breathing process, the diaphragm moves down, inhalation, and exhalation, diaphragm moves up. There are some respiratory issues, like there's a few minor disorders of respiratory system and few major disorders. So in minor disorders are like common cold, you have influenza or flu, bronchitis. What happens in bronchitis? This is your normal blood vessel, normal bronchi, and this is the inflamed bronchi. You can observe the thickness. Here some inflammatory substances or infection causing substances accumulate inside, and because of that the diameter, the bronchi becomes narrower, and that is why the lung capacity or the amount of oxygen that is moved inside or which is expelled out is reduced. Now there are other there is one more disorder, pneumonia. What is pneumonia? In case of pneumonia, these alveoli are inflamed, and some fluid like substance, they start to accumulate in these alveoli, and what will happen? The exchange of gases which occurs in the alveoli will be affected. Now apart from that, there are few major disorders like chronic bronchitis. Chronic bronchitis is severe form of this bronchi, and in this it occurs due to smoking. Then there is emphysema. What is emphysema? So in case of emphysema, these alveolar walls break down and they merge together. Then we have lung cancer. In case of lung cancer, your lungs get affected, and it causes the respiratory system to collapse. That is why it is very, very important to have a balanced diet, proper exercise, and a pollution-free environment for a healthy respiratory system. Now, the air around us has various types of unwanted particles like smoke, dust, pollen, etc. When we inhale, the particles get trapped in the hairs present in our nasal cavity. However, sometimes these particles may get past the hair in the nasal cavity. This may irritate the lining of the cavity, as a result of which we sneeze. Sneezing expels these foreign particles from the inhaled air, and a dust-free, clean air enters our body. So why do we sneeze? We sneeze because sometimes what happens, the few unwanted particles, they enter our respiratory system, which cause an irritation in the inner lining of the nasal cavity, and because of that our body reacts to that, and in order to expel it out we sneeze, and although those foreign particles are expelled out along with the pressure which or the force through which comes in from inside our body. Know that we breathe in air which is rich in oxygen. This oxygen is utilized during the cellular respiration to produce energy, and apart from that carbon dioxide is also released, which is a waste product for our body, and it is released out in the environment during the exhalation process. So when we inhale oxygen rich air. The concentration of oxygen in the inhaled air is 21%, and the concentration of carbon dioxide in the inhaled air is 0.04%. But when we exhale, the concentration of oxygen is 16.4%, and the concentration of carbon dioxide is 4.4%. So this was about the breathing in human beings, and how can we prove that exhaled air has more of carbon dioxide? By the experiment of lime water. We know that lime water turns milky when carbon dioxide is added to it, because it forms calcium carbonate. So we can take lime water, and with the help of a straw, if you blow air to it, what happens after some time? We can observe the white colored substance, or this lime water turns milky, which proves that the air that we exhale has higher amount of carbon dioxide. Now let us start with breathing in other animals. The animals like elephants, lion, cow, goat, frog, lizard, snakes, birds, they have lungs in their chest cavities like the human beings. However, there are other organisms also which do not have lungs, like the cockroach. A cockroach has small openings on the sides of body. Other insects also have similar openings. So in case of insects, they have small openings on their body through which gaseous exchange occurs. And inside their body, they have tube-like system which is called as trachea or the tracheal system for the transport of gases. Let us observe this. So this is a cockroach, and these tiny holes are the spiracles, these through which the gaseous exchange occurs. Now these tiny holes are called as the spiracles. Then these are the tiny holes which are the spiracles. And there is a network of air tubes spread over the body of insect which is called as the tracheal system. And this tracheal system facilitates the exchange of gases in an insect. Through these, oxygen moves inside and the carbon dioxide moves out of the body. Now let us see the breathing in earthworm. So earthworm breathes through its skin. It has a moist and slimy skin, and gases can easily pass through it. So as you can see, this is an earthworm and it has a moist skin, and the exchange of gases occurs through this moist skin. We can see the earthworm skin is slimy, and the uppermost layer has a lot of blood capillaries, and through this the oxygen through this upper layer, this oxygen moves inside and carbon dioxide moves outside the body of earthworm. Now let us see the breathing in the fishes. So as we have studied earlier that the fishes have a special respiratory organ called as gills, and these gills, they are projections of skins, and they use oxygen which is dissolved in water. So these gills, they are richly supplied with water, a lot of blood capillaries are there inside these gills, and water moves from here, and these gills then absorb the oxygen which is present in water. In case of plants, we have the tiny pores which are present on the leaves which are called as stomata, which help in gaseous exchange. We know that in case of plants, they take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Now these are the pores or the stomata. This is the opening through which the gases come out or move inside. Structure of stomata. These two are the guard cells which which guard the opening and closing of this stomata, and these are the green colored chlorophyll molecules. From stomata, there are structures called as lenticels on the bark. These are tiny openings on the bark through which gaseous exchange occurs. These are the lenticels. In case of roots also require air. So what they do, roots absorb the oxygen or air which is present in between the air spaces. In between the soil particles there are air spaces, and through the roots absorb these air spaces. They absorb the gases which are required like the oxygen. The interesting roots, they are found in case of mangroves. Mangroves are the plant which grow in marshy areas, and they have roots called as the roots are negatively geotropic. They grow above the ground. These are the roots which grow above the ground, and they are called as pneumatophores. And these pneumatophores have small openings to exchange the gases. So you can see these are the roots, and these are mangroves, and these are the roots of the mangroves. Since because marshy areas, there are no air spaces, because all the air spaces are filled with the water. So the roots do not get air or oxygen. So what they do, they have become negatively geotrophic. They grow above the ground, and on these roots there are air spaces, or there are small pores through which they breathe in air. So they are a special type of roots. So students, we come to the end of the chapter. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. Thank you so much.